happens. Usually it's one child, and we could manage that, but if you have 90 to 100 children living at once, I don't know. I mean, we could barricade the doors, but then we're infringing upon their rights again. So I would argue that in no way, shape, or form are they allowed to do this.
So, and I'm not saying that students don't have the First Amendment rights, but schools may enforce reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, what I think we did, but there's also consequences that we could have instilled, whether it's suspension, which is not what I'm suggesting, but there are other things. There could be, I don't know, in-school suspension, there could be they have to do some community service, whatever. But I think we didn't exert our responsibility or what we could do in these circumstances. And I get that you say lawsuits, but there can be lawsuits no matter what we do.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think you can go by that as to whether there's consequences. Now, what I do say is that we can't exert consequences since they've already walked out, but for the next one, if it happens, we need to make sure that they're aware that there are consequences.
Yeah, as I said, I think as this escalates, it becomes a disruption, because it really truly wasn't a disruption other than the students who walked out. Had students stood up in the middle of class, started shouting, banging on the walls, causing vandalism to the school, that'd be a completely different situation than what occurred. With our discipline matrix, truancy, you get, and Lena, correct me if I'm wrong, please, but the first offense is not you're suspended. It takes 3 or 4 offenses before there is an escalating consequence. So we did not act in any way from our discipline matrix when we handle these things usually.
Well, I'll be interested to see what our attorney says based on what I've read on the Arizona law, that schools may impose disciplinary actions, leaving campus without authorization, missing class, and I don't think they disrupted school operations, but they did leave campus without authorization.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be appropriate before we go any further down this rabbit hole is to get legal counsel. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be. But it's a balance. You know, we're not a prison, yet we want safety. So
Mr. Rowe, if I could ask one more thing, piggybacking on Ms. Marsette's comments. I think balance is a good word. We're kind of we're being thrust into these situations that really have a no-win. We do one thing, there's going to be a group of people that disagree with what we do. We do another thing, there's going to be a group of people. We do one thing, somebody could file a lawsuit. We do another thing. We're being put into situations that really have a no-win situation. That's kind of one of these. And you and I talked about another example of that, and that's just kind of the nature of what's happening right now.
So the school safety, the student safety, how you keep saying that, but then students also, even like my neighbor, they got in a vehicle with another student and drove all the way home. They didn't have permission to be in that vehicle with that other student, and their parents put them on the bus in our care, and we allowed them to walk off, and we're over there concerned about their safety, but yet we put them in a teen driver's car, and had they crashed, we're still responsible and liable from 7 to 3 at the high school for all students. So I don't understand, like every day there's gonna be something. Now they're gonna say they can't stop us. Don't be scared. You don't like the lunch, you don't like that the teacher assigned you this assignment, walk out, protest. I mean, we've opened this can of worms, and I think it's better to act now as a board and put some plans and policies in place if they're not already, and make sure that it doesn't happen again. And if it were to, we already have consequences or a plan in place so that it's not we're gonna react as it keeps happening. We need to react now. And we owe that to our students and to the community.
Well, I disagree about no win. It's, once again, a balance. We want to balance everyone's rights. You know, the right to protest and the right to safety. So for that reason, I mean, I hate to say anything until we talk with legal counsel, because eventually we'll, whatever we end up in court with, I want to be safe on her, that she can argue in our favor instead of what we personally feel.
Well, at this time, I'd like to move that we move into executive session.
Right. So I move, go into executive session for legal counsel under ARS 38431.03A3, legal counsel.
A second.
All in favor of going into executive session, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passes.
It was important that we talk a little bit about this, so thank you for waiting.
Mike, Paul.
Microphone.
Any other comments from board members for public session on the student protest? Star.
I think it's important to let the public, our parents and community know that we are going to discuss this further and maybe come up with a procedure on how this might be handled in the future, just so there'll be no confusion, and we have something that everyone can follow.
So I'd like to also comment that we'd like the superintendent to, on these type of letters, to send them to the board also, so the board is aware of them. And on this particular letter, I would suggest that the bottom paragraph where it made a statement basically to the parents that would not be included, that we just stick with, the reading, writing, and arithmetic and what the students' rights are, and the district's position to not weigh into these political issues, but just educate our kids.
Mr. Baxter, may I ask you a question, please? You said send the letter. Do you mean before it goes out? Because I did send the letter to you afterwards. Are you suggesting the letter gets sent to the board before, or, because I did do that?
I think we need to continue talking about that,
Okay.
but basically, no, you sent letters out that talked about how the restructure of the school is going to be. Well, I think this letter is different than that letter, that the board should have an opportunity to do this and either help with the letter, or at least be aware that the letter is going out prior to its distribution.
But with a copy of the letter? Because I did notify the board that the letter was going out previous. I just didn't
With a
include the
copy
letter.
of the letter.
Okay. And I think that's more the discussion to have, so we have a, because
Yeah.
real clear, and I'm just trying to clarify, so I do what you're asking me to do.
Yeah, we can't make motions or take actions, but I guess I'd like to plant a seed also to consider a follow-up letter from either the district or the board.
Okay.
Well,
I guess we're going to have to have a study session to discuss it more then.
It'd just be a restatement of the district's position for clarification.
Okay.
And perhaps just, when you get a copy of the letter from the county superintendent, it basically, I'm suggesting a follow-up letter in this type of tone.
However, I'm going to disagree. I think the superintendent in the first paragraph stated that that the students had a right, and that as a school, we did not sanction it. We were not being political. I mean, we were allowing the students to exercise their First Amendment rights, but we took I don't know if you want to say not a position on either side. So it made us neutral, because schools are a nonpartisan entity.
Right.
any other comments? Paul, do you have anything?
No, I'm still, I guess, confused. My personal feeling, it was handled very well. I mean, we can't predict what the next issue is going to be, and I feel we hire a superintendent to make those tough decisions. You know, how far you go to balance the civil rights and safety. Yeah, I look forward to further discussion.
If there's nothing else, we'll move on to anything else? Anyone?
Ms. De La Cruz, any? Did you want to add anything?
Okay, without any further discussion, we'll move on to future meetings and events.
Madam President, members of the board. Does this help? Does this help? Yeah. No. Mine just muted. I don't, we'll get through it. Sorry. As a reminder, we do have a regular scheduled meeting tomorrow. Our study session to finish chapter 3 and hopefully maybe finish chapter 4. Then we have our regular board meeting. The study session is scheduled for 3 o'clock and the board meeting is scheduled for 6 o'clock as usual. We do have time, seeing that it is 9:26, if we want to add a discussion item or something for tomorrow's board meeting, we could do that. We did leave a placeholder for that in anticipation of that. We just have to update it. If not, we can have a discussion item tomorrow that we try to hammer out when we would get together to further our discussion.
Yeah, I'd just like to remind the public that there is still a call to the public and that they can still have an opportunity to speak to the board within the 3-minute limit. I also don't think we need another discussion tomorrow because we're going to call a separate meeting to discuss this and how we're going to handle it in the future.
We can handle that internally.
Any board member comments? No. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Meeting's adjourned.
We adjourn to Ms. De La Cruz. See you tomorrow.